You know, Jason, you'd think after like 8 years we would be better. We would be better at doing this stuff, but you know,
it's just harder.
It's harder. It's
so much harder now.
You got laptops trying to take advantage of your NFT. All your NFTs get sold, and then I
got NFT'd 3 times while we were just trying to get the audio working.
The blockchain crashed. Like the power station blew up. The plane crashed into the mountain, but nothing is going to stop.
Nothing will stop Rage Select.
That's right. Not even Jeff's eventual physical, emotional, and spiritual breakdown. Welcome back, everybody.
It almost happened. It almost happened for me just a second ago. A complete emotional and spiritual breakdown.
Almost is actually. I think we're past almosts, Jason. I think we've just gotten used to it.
That's what the last 3 years have been. 2 years, 6. Who knows? Everything since it was all downhill since Dive Kick.
That was the beginning of the end.
That was it.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Rage Select podcast. Here at Rage Select, I'm Jeff.
I'm Jason.
I have decided, Jason. Okay, so I'm gonna start with a story time here.
Okay, let's hear it.
So this year, Christmas falls on a Saturday, right?
That's true.
And so I was at the beginning of December, like making all my plans, like picking out the games, like hey, this game's gonna go on this day, this game's gonna go on this day. And my brain was broken by the fact that Christmas is on a Saturday, because normally it's like, oh, this is the week where Christmas is. And so we're going to have some Just Dance videos over here. We're going to have some Skyrim over here. And I literally had the schedule set up so that we were actually doing all of the Christmas videos the week after Christmas. And then a week and a half into December, I looked at the schedule and I was like, oh no, this is wrong. I have to record 8 videos tomorrow. So I say all this to say that I don't know if this is going to be the last podcast. It might be. The only question is whether I can cajole poor Michael into coming over here the week of Christmas. But I decided I wanted to do something different today. This entire year, 2021, it's been like Activision scandals and here's a broken game and here's the bad news. And I feel like between 2020 and 2021, it's kind of been the bad news parade, Jason. It's kind of just
I've noticed.
It's one thing after another. I mean, I feel like we used to know what the bad news parade was back when we started Rage Select. It was just back
when Don Matrick was waving his fucking baton at the head. It was like, those were simpler times, man.
Yeah.
And we were laughing at the failure of the Xbox during E3.
Yeah.
It was hysterical. But we thought, oh, dark times. No. Then Activision and EA cracked their knuckles and said, motherfucker, we're going to show you dark times.
Hold my beer. So I have decided, I mean, there are more than enough places on the internet that you can get a face fucking full of bad news every day of the week. In fact, it's kind of hard to not find a place on the internet where you're getting bad news all day, every day. So I decided today that what we're going to do is, instead of horrible news, of which there's very little, so stupid, but it's still there, Jason and I are just going to talk about the cool shit from 2021, like the good stuff.
I forgot you said that. There goes half my list. Let me I'm seriously deleting the all caps Battlefield 5.
Battlefield 2042.
Oh yeah, whatever see, that's okay. That tells you that I am not qualified to speak on it, honestly. But my experience with whatever Battlefield game was put in front of me recently was lacking. But we're not going to talk about that, Jeff. I'm striking it off the list right now.
Good.
Okay, we're not going to talk about the shitty ending to various TV shows. Not going to talk about that. We're not. I know what we're going to do. We're going to talk about how some of my favorite things were. Maybe I shouldn't tell you. I'm going to pick all of my favorite things, and they're just going to be things you hate.
Oh,
you just hate.
That's all right. That's all right. We are having a positive attitude.
Okay.
I'm loaded up with caffeine.
Let's talk about Dune.
Dune, yeah. Tell me about Dune. Tell me about Dune. Let's kick it off here. You watched Dune?
It was better than the book. That's what I'm trying to provoke you.
After the last 2 years, Jason, nothing can provoke me anymore.
It takes more than that.
Yeah,
okay.
It's like you know when you step on a bug and that's not enough. The bug's already dead, but then you like twist your foot back and forth. That's been like since 2019. So,
and it was an insect made of Legos.
Yes, exactly. No, is that? I mean, did you tell me what you liked about Dune?
It was fine. I didn't really like it. I was just trying to get under your skin.
I actually. Oh, so I'll tell you one thing that I liked was that in 2021, I stopped listening to podcasts. See the aforementioned bug metaphor and or bad news is everywhere, you can't escape it. And so I signed up for Audible and I started listening to audiobooks instead of podcasts because they're long. And I'm actually up to book 5 in after I watched Dune, I went back and started listening to all of Dune on audiobooks. And I'm up to Chapter House where the fucking crazy shit. Jason, I've
never read it. I've never read it.
All I want in the world, I don't know if you know this, all I want in the world is what happens in book 4 of Dune, right? Like,
oh God, do I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see the worm.
Kevin Bacon?
Yeah, no.
When he fights the worm?
Yes. I want to see.
Tremors is in the Dune universe.
It's kind of graboid. It's graboid adjacent. Yeah. I want to see them put the big worm man on the screen and then have him fucking wax philosophical for 4 hours straight and be like, yeah, suck it, Hollywood.
There's a philosophical worm man?
Yeah, at the end of spoiler alert for a book that came out in like the 70s, but like at the end of the 3rd book, not Kyle MacLachlan / whatever the fuck his name was from the new one, but like his kid like goes out and takes these little worm guys that are in the desert and like puts them all over his body. And like they fuse with him and he becomes like a sandworm with a guy on the top of it, like a sandworm centaur. And then the book series flashes forward 3,500 years to where Dune is like a tropical forest planet, and this guy's been ruling the universe with an iron fist, and everybody's all mad at him and shit. And it just goes off the rails, man. It gets crazy.
Sounds bonkers. I almost don't believe you. Like, you're making this up.
Dude, Duncan Idaho from the movie, they've like resurrected him. Like for 3,500 years, they've just been making copies of that motherfucker. Like in actuality, the only person who would be through all of the Dune movies would be Jason Momoa, because Duncan Idaho is literally in every single Dune book all the way to the end.
Really? Because they just keep like cloning him or whatever?
Yeah. They keep bringing him back to life, and like he just every time they bring him back to life, he just gets madder and madder, and then eventually he gets killed, and they just get another one, and they keep bringing him back to life, and it's fucking crazy.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. Everybody should like the first 3 Dune books are a little slow, but man, once you get to the big worm guy, it gets crazy. I'm on the one with like the sex magic and the fucking there's a guy that's the Flash in that one that can move at like super speed.
So you just have to make it through 500,000 words.
Yes.
Before you get to the good stuff. Just 500,000 words. I don't know if you understand a million, Jeff.
They're not, Jason, they're not bad books. Like, I'm just saying to get to the really crazy stuff.
Oh, to get to, okay. So it's not a slog. They're not bad books. They just go bonkers at 4.
Yes. Okay.
I appreciate that. I appreciate when an established, kind of, known for being a stodgy, labyrinthine series just says, you know what? Now it's time to get crazy.
I mean, man,
turn on the disco ball.
That's the 70s sci-fi authors. They go fucking crazy. They go berserk. Like,
Oh, man, I just love looking at those covers. I never read the books, but I look at those covers and it's like, that's like a an astronaut, but it's a lion. It's a lion man wearing a NASA astronaut, and there's a naked barbarian woman clinging to him, and they're about to fight a floating eyeball.
And there's like a spaceship behind them, so you know that it's in space and shit.
Right.
Okay, well, we're getting a little off track here. Jason, tell me, like, okay, I have this whole thing divided up. What do you want to do? You want to do some movies? You want to do TV shows? You want to do like video games?
You pick a genre, and I will wax philosophical. I will tell you how I know nothing about it.
Okay.
And how I've been in a cave for the entire year, watching things I've already seen and writing.
Okay.
And not really. I'm not. This is going to be a shitty podcast. I don't really have anything to say. I didn't see anything. You're asking me what I liked. Not going outside. That was cool.
Okay.
But I'm sorry.
What about?
I'm just letting you know that I suck at this now. I forgot how. I don't know how to do it anymore.
No, that's all right. That's all right. What about movies? Did you see any good movies this year that you were just like, holy shit, that was what? Because I looked at like all the movies that came out, and like I'm just talking about the stuff. You know, who's going to the movie theater? What movies did you see that you liked this year, Jason?
I did not go to the movie theater. I don't know when, if ever, I will be comfortable in going to the movie theater again. Mm-hmm. But what did I see that I liked? I saw, you know what? I watched a lot of stuff around Halloween. That's probably when I watched more movies than anything. I watched the original Frankenstein again. That was great. Watched a fun indie vampire movie called Super Hot.
What, like the video game? Super Hot?
Yeah, right. That's what I was getting confused about. But it's a fun little indie, like, kind of benign vampire film. It was fun. I'm trying to find something really. Oh, okay. Anything for Jackson.
Anything for Jackson. I watched that.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, it was cool. I'd never heard of it until you told me about it. It really keeps you guessing, right? Like it starts off and you're just like, yeah, what the fuck is going on in this?
There were some scares in that I thought, okay, well that's kind of your typical thing, a little typical jump scare. But then they keep redoing the same jump scare with a little bit of a spin on it, and they keep doing it, and it turns from a cheap jump scare into, every time it happens, you dread it more and more. And it's just a really, really effective thing. And the director just makes a bunch of Christmas movies.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes. If you look at his oeuvre, it's all of those like Hallmark movies that it's like he made 17 of them in 2019.
Oh, he's a severe looking motherfucker.
Headshots,
Love by Accident and A Witch's Ball. Okay, all right.
Baby in the Manger, Christmas in Paris. This guy made one of the most disturbing horror films I have seen in a while. Mm-hmm. And it was great. It was one of my favorite things of what I watched over Halloween.
I got to tell you that, like, I've never before seen a horror movie that made me afraid of a sheet with eye holes cut in it.
Yeah, I started watching it again, like caught it in the middle of it on Shudder the other day, and it was. I started watching it, and Allison's like, "I would actually like to watch this. ... Stop watching it so we can watch it." Yeah, I really like that one a lot. What about you?
Well, okay, it was weird because I was looking through stuff that I watched this last year, and I think the thing that I liked the most when it came to movies this year was Suicide Squad. Like,
oh yeah, that was fun.
Like the Marvel movies. I mean, I'm trying not, I'm not gonna go like full on negative, but like the whole. I not even think that like all the Marvel TV show and the Marvel movie stuff is bad. It's just that like there's been no time to have a break from it. Like from WandaVision all the way up to Hawkeye, like every month this year, every week there's like a different show going, and there's like maybe a week of delay between Winter Soldier and Loki or whatever, but like it's just been nonstop. Like there's been 5 series and 3 movies this year, and like I haven't had a chance to slow down, but like it's so interesting to see because that I'm not the biggest fan of the Snyderverse. We will not We will not get into that. But like,
Agreed.
Suicide Squad was just such a breath of fresh air to be like, oh, look, it's a fun comic book movie full of characters and like, you know, they're foul and they're kind of violent but fun violence.
It was a silly, good time.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I know some diehard Suicide Squad fans who were not fans of that film. But I thought it was great. I just thought it was a really good time. It had great performances. Everybody was really charming. Stallone as the shark.
It's King Shark.
Fun. Yeah. As King Shark. That was, kind of silly. It was definitely a James Gunn movie, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
without question,
I could go for some more James Gunn movies. I was looking at the list, and I think the other thing is, Jason, do you know the movie Zola? Have you heard of the movie Zola?
Zola? No, I don't. Not Arnim Zola?
No.
Okay, it's I don't know what you're showing me here. What are we watching here, Jeff?
So Zola is based on a Twitter thread
fuck off.
From like 3 years ago about this lady who's like an exotic dancer who hooks up with this chick that she works with and goes to Vegas, and then it turns out to be like this really horrible situation where the girl is turning tricks and like the main character thinks she's just going there to dance, and then it's like
I remember that.
Yeah, and so they made a movie out of this Twitter thread, but it's like an A24 joint, so it's all super moody and lit and stuff. And I really liked this movie. Like, it was very menacing and weird and very just like it's one of those movies where like the things that are happening are so stupid and random that it makes it feel like real life, because you're like, only in real life could this amount of dumb shit happen. Like if somebody wrote the script for this, it would be terrible, but like as an adaptation of something that probably actually happened, it kind of works. So
it sounds like it's kind of like a meandering recollection of someone's drunken weekend. It's like, and then. It's like from what you're describing and what I'm watching here.
Yeah.
But I remember the Twitter thread, and it was wild and scary.
No, it was good. It was really well done. From A24, I think it was that and like Green Knight. I liked Green Knight quite a bit as well.
I didn't see that. That looks great. Green Knight. I forgot about that. Yeah, I don't. Allison, what movies did we watch this?
Jason is asking what movies he watched. Yeah, Green Knight was good. I liked it. Jason, what are you doing?
Okay, never mind. I was trying to get help. I woke her up from a nap.
Oh no. Well, what about like do you revisit anything that gave you like that you were like, oh shit, I forgot how good this was?
Oh yeah. I watched I watched a lot of old Hammer films and just of course fell in love with those all over again. Some classic ones like Dracula AD 1972, Curse of Frankenstein, all the old Peter Cushing stuff that I already loved anyway. Rewatched the original Nightmare on Elm Street. What I'm saying is I basically just watched movies during the month of October, and that's all. That's basically what I'm telling you.
Okay. Well, what about, I tell you what about like what about TV shows? Do you see anything there that you liked?
No, didn't really do much of that either. No, I did actually.
This is going to be a weird podcast.
I know. Well, all of the, there's all the typical answers. Like, the Marvel stuff was, pretty good across the board, I thought.
How good was like the first 90% of WandaVision, like when it was just doing the TV show stuff?
Yes,
it was so good.
WandaVision was actually pretty genius for most of it. Like literally, like the first few episodes were genius. I don't think they stuck the landing really. It got a little got a little muddled in the storytelling, what was going on there. So I'm curious as to what happened behind the scenes on that, because it feels like that. Like, was that where you were going the whole time? I don't know that it was. But other than that, I mean, it was really just like really compelling, creepy, independent of the Marvel Universe storytelling, which is, I think, honestly, as much as I enjoyed most of Loki, as much as I enjoyed most of WandaVision, I'm worried that the universe is getting bogged down with its own mythology, much like the comics themselves have.
Yeah, I actually was thinking. Let me ask if this rings true for you. But I always think, when I think back on WandaVision, I always think, like, could we have just had like a whole season of the Dick Van Dyke Show, the first incarnation of them, because it was so funny. Like, I would have watched like 8 episodes of that show before they shifted to another genre. Like, especially if they did stuff like with when the wife is just saying, like, stop it. If there's just like one Twin Peaks creepy thing per episode, right, and you never knew when it was going to come. Like,
I think that could have been the entire first season. I would have been quite happy if every season was a different, like, generation of television.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I feel like I cut you off. Were you telling me something else?
No. That was it. I was really in love with that too. I didn't think that the series was perfect. Oh yeah, no. I remember why I got real mad. Mm-hmm. But we're just talking about happy things and not the Ralph Boner joke. We're not going to talk about that stupid bit of bullshit. We're not going to bring that up at all.
What's the Ralph Boner joke? I don't know what you're talking about.
God, it was the end of WandaVision with Quicksilver, and it's like, they're acknowledging it. It's Quicksilver from another universe, and then he said, "Oh, I'm just an actor named Ralph Boner," or whatever the hell his name was, and I was I couldn't believe it. I couldn't. I was so mad. I was apoplectic with rage.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're not going to talk about that, though, because we're just talking about the things we liked, Jeff.
Oh, no, I mean, you can talk about what you didn't like. But
No. One thing that I discovered, and it was a couple of years after it was canceled, speaking of TV shows, it's on Hulu. There's 2 seasons. It's called Lodge 49.
Lodge 49?
Yeah, that is one of my favorite TV shows in recent memory, and it got canceled. But me and a lot of other people didn't really discover it until it was canceled and on Hulu. And it's a really just kind of a subtle show. There's it seems pretty benign and like not a big deal. Mm-hmm. But then as you watch it, you start to realize just how likable it is. But there's a lot of magical realism going on, and you think, wait, is something supernatural happening here? Mm-hmm. But it's also like, it feels like, and this is the closest I can get to it, it's got this surrealist magic to it, but it feels kind of like, and this is Allison's comparison, the dude in Twin Peaks.
Okay.
But not scary.
Okay, all right. So just weird. It just this.
Yeah.
I will put on the trailer here with no sound, and it just looks kind of like goofily weird.
It is, but it is so likable. And then you realize that the writing is actually really, really tight and layered in such a way that is so subtle. There's a lot more going on with this show that I think Allison in the last year has watched the entire series 6 times through. And it keeps revealing these weird mysteries that it does not draw your attention to. But if you're paying close attention, it is actually like this elaborate skein of hints and multiple plot threads. Brilliant, likable, love the show.
Who's this main guy? Who's this guy? I feel like I've seen him before.
Oh yeah, you have. That is that's Captain America. That's John Walker.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Wyatt Russell.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. He looked like the guy from God, what is that? What is that show that Grant likes so much? That's like the Beach Detectives with the two guys.
Terriers.
Terriers, yeah.
Honestly, I didn't say Terriers, but that's how Allison sold it to me, because most people haven't seen Terriers. That's another wonderful TV series you need to seek out. But Lodge 49 does feel a lot like Terriers, but with some mysticism.
Okay. Let's see. I tell you what. I'll do an obscure one here too that I had. I mean, I got like fucking Squid Game and shit on here, but like, did you ever get around to watching Brand New Cherry Flavor?
Oh yeah,
that was
a good one.
Came out of nowhere, right? Like it was just like,
yeah.
And the thing is that one of the things that I kind of hate about this, about where we are right now, because everybody's inside and they're producing so many TV shows and streaming things, is it's just like Brand New Cherry Flavor was great, and there was like 1 week where anybody had heard about it, and then it was just fucking gone. Like
that's the way it is with everything on these streaming services. Is once they're out of the limelight, you won't even see them pop up in your suggestions anymore. I mean, there is stuff that I've seen on Netflix that is very, very good, but once I've watched it and they're not pushing it anymore, it's gone. Like there was a Chris Hemsworth movie, that action film Extraction.
Oh yeah,
that I really liked it. I just remembered it the other day. Or remember, like a year ago, there was some big budget action movie with Charlize Theron where she was this immortal badass.
Yep.
And gone. It's just gone.
Yeah.
There's no secondary market for anything anymore.
Yeah, they come and go so fast. But like, I swear to God, you guys, if you're on, I mean, you know, like if it's November or it's December and you're looking for something spooky and weird to watch, like Brand New Cherry Flavor was one of the most original things I've seen. It's got Catherine Keener, the lady from Battle Angel Alita, and fucking Jason Mendoza from The Good Place.
That's right. Yeah, and it's got a lot of the type of horror that you don't often see, that is just strange and new and fresh. And honestly, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, one of the producers / showrunners, could be wrong, but I think one of the showrunners on this was also the same guy behind Channel Zero, which adapted a lot of creepypastas and stuff like that. It was really, which was one of my favorite shows from a couple of years ago.
Okay.
I can't remember the guy's name right now. Starts with an A. No, that's him, Nick.
Nick and Tosca.
Yeah, and I believe, Brand New Cherry Flavor. Yeah, his sensibility really comes through on this one, or at least his the collaborators that he brings along with him also bring that to the table, I bet.
Okay.
But Brand New Cherry Flavor has that weird, like, oh, this is some creepy horror that I have not seen before.
And it's gross as hell.
And just trippy and sinister and hallucinatory. Great show.
Yeah.
Great show.
I tell you what else was great that I really, really liked that was on Netflix that I feel like I didn't hear anybody talk about. I don't even think I talked about it. Jason, did you watch the adaptation of Sweet Tooth that they put out?
Oh, no. I didn't. I intend to, but I have not checked that out yet.
I think that it's adapted from a comic. It's like,
Jeff Lemire, I believe.
Yeah, it's like this post-apocalyptic thing where like a bunch of humanity has died out, and there are these kind of human-animal hybrids, and like a lot of people think that they're the ones who caused the sickness that wiped people out. And then there's this kid that has basically been raised in the forest by his dad that kind of like took off at the very beginning of this, who's wandering out into the world, and it's very kind of like, it's interesting because it's weird to watch, but right now, but it's also interesting because the main character, this kid with these antlers, he's just very like optimistic and kind of, pardon me, like doe-eyed and just like like he doesn't understand why people are mean to each other or why people would do anything. And so he's got this kind of like quiet, unshakable optimism that works really well with this really, really harsh world that's around him. And it was it wasn't a lot of episodes. They were well paced. Everyone kind of had a beginning and a middle and an end, and some cool stuff was going on. And like, again, it was one of those ones where I just never heard anybody it came out and I watched it, and nobody ever said anything ever again. So
I believe the comic book is an Eisner Award-winning book, and so the source material is really well regarded. But yeah, it's just one of those that kind of flash in the pan, came and went. Another one that I saw, I think it was a Netflix original that was one of Mike Flanagan's things for Halloween, was Midnight Mass. Did you watch that one?
I did not get around to that one, but I've heard nothing but good stuff about it.
Yeah, it seems that he's doing, and they kind of make a nod to that, but it seems that he's doing just kind of a pastiche of Stephen King tropes. It really is. It's a pastiche of Stephen King tropes, and it feels like, oh, you're just doing Salem's Lot. But it's not. And it becomes a really rich, deep, thought-provoking story that also has some cool as hell scares and kills.
Cool. Well, let's see. I think the only other thing I had down here, and I don't even think we got it. Well, I obviously What We Do in the Shadows. I don't know what you say about What We Do in the Shadows that isn't already there. And then I feel like I forgot that I kind of forgot that it came out this year, except for the memes. But Invincible came out this year as well.
Oh yeah, that was really good.
You know, if nothing else, we got the Think Mark meme.
Memed the hell out of that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, What We Do in the Shadows is wonderful. Allison and I just discovered this Adult Swim show from a couple of years ago. Discovered it on Hulu because now content is timeless. It doesn't matter when it's released. You'll find it when you find it, I guess. But Dream Corp LLC with John Grease and a number of other people. But I'm sorry for not remembering their names. But he plays the lead lunatic doctor, where they travel into people's dreams and try to fix them, but they're a bunch of degenerates, and it is Dream Corp LLC is run out of a sleazy strip mall.
Okay.
So it's a lot of fun.
Is it animated? Is it like rotoscoped?
Part of it is the dream sequences have a rotoscope animation, but everything else is like low budget live action. I've made it through the first 2 of 3 seasons, and yeah, it's a lot of fun and really strange.
Okay.
But all the dream sequences are rotoscope, but then the rest of it is small set, a couple of actors in a cramped, low-budget dungeon of a lab.
Okay, cool. Jason, what about games? Did you play anything this year?
Much like last year, Jeff, I played a lot of Modern Warfare.
Okay. Well, hey, was Modern Warfare good this year? It's
a lot of the diehards I think would disagree with me. It's like I would see the Modern Warfare subreddit, and I'm like, oh, we're mad about Modern Warfare.
I had no idea.
I didn't know we were mad. My brother and I have been having a great time. But yeah, I wasn't really playing Warzone. I was just playing just like the same stuff, just over and over and over. It was a good time just playing. What was it? Just not Warzone, but the Ground War. Yeah, where it's just like, a whole bunch of people and a bunch of other people trying to control points. Great time playing that. I haven't gone back to it and played Warzone or anything like that in a while, but I played a little Back 4 Blood and really liked that. Back 4 Blood was great. It's hard. Get my ass kicked every single time. Liked Back 4 Blood quite a bit, and right now I'm still working my way through Far Cry 6. And, it's the same game every year, but that's a feature, not a bug. It's just comfort. It's like, you know what? I'm going to go find a chopper and blow up a bunch of billboards and checkpoints, and I'm just going to mindlessly do that for an hour. And, maybe I'll jump back into the story in a minute, but I'm just having a lot of, it's a simple distraction to jump around in Far Cry 6 and listen to Giancarlo Esposito talk about Drew Yarans. And it's fun. I like it. It's got some ridiculous sidekicks. The alligator Wapo
Why would you have anybody but Chorizo? There's a fucking wiener dog. He's the best. Chorizo's
Jeff,
the best.
I will not put that dog in danger.
Oh, okay.
I will not put that dog in danger.
Okay.
No. It's like I will use the psychotic fucking rooster, which is every time I'm walking along wearing my headphones, playing, and suddenly I hear like the goddamn chicharrones sneaking up behind me, making these psychotic rooster noises, and I just think there's a monster behind me, and I'm just like, dude, you need to be cool because you're freaking me out, and I'm trying to sneak up on this installation here, but the rooster keeps freaking me out. I don't have to worry about that with. I worry about Chorizo getting hurt. I worry about the wiener dog getting hurt. The psychotic rooster and the dinosaur crocodile, I don't care. Whatever. It's a dinosaur. It'll be fine.
All right.
The rooster is crazy. It'll be fine. But I'm not putting the dog in peril. Fuck you for even suggesting that.
Well,
You monster.
the dog is invincible. You can't. The dog can't die. But
I'm not. I don't
you're not
even
chancing
wanna
it. You're not chancing it.
If I see on the screen Chorizo is down, I will come to your house and I will slap you repeatedly in the face.
Me, Jeff, personally.
You, Jeff, personally, for suggesting that I would not that dog would not even be injured. I looked at that dog and I was like, why? No, I don't even want someone shooting at that dog. If someone yells at Chorizo in that game, I will be upset.
I will kill everyone on this island. I will depopulate this island
for Chorizo. I'll do anything. I will fucking die for Chorizo.
Yeah,
I will burn down Yara for that dog, Jeff.
Okay. All right, Jason. Goddamn.
And also, cheers to Ubisoft and the developers of Far Cry 6 because, hey, that game was complete when I bought it and not a fucking disaster like lots of other games that I experienced this year looking at you, Battlefield.
Yeah. Well, let's see. The thing is, I had a lot of games. I mean, I obviously played a lot of games this year. Like if you just go to the Game Awards, we played most of the ones that were there. But like, I'm going to tell you the ones that were the most like surprising to me. Because like, I played Hitman 3. I liked Hitman 3. Oh, gee, call the fucking president. Like,
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. I didn't get around to it, but I bought it. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah. But like the ones that were weird were like they put out the Skyward Sword HD remake. You remember that the Wii game, the Skyward Sword Wii game?
Yeah, totally.
And like, hey, Jason, it turns out that when this Zelda game that was made by like a bunch of veterans who know their shit in the video game industry isn't relying on me swinging around a super inaccurate piece of plastic where I can just flick the stick back and forth to swipe at guys. Hey, this is a super good game. Like, I don't think I ever had a problem with the story or like the action. It was mostly just like I hated to play it. Like, but now,
that just proves my point that the Wiimote, I was right in avoiding it. It's like I had a Wii eventually. I don't think I ever had a Wii U, but I hated it. I never could get into it. Just could not do it. And as the point, I couldn't get into anything on the Wii.
Yeah.
Anything at all, even if I didn't have to use the Wiimote. It was just poisoned by that stupid little stick.
They always wanted you to do something. They wanted you to do something. They wanted you to point at the screen with it and do some bullshit. But like, this game holds up super good, and it's like it's like a prequel, so it comes before all the rest of the Zelda games, and it establishes like, why does the shield have a bird, and like why is the outfit green, and like all these different things that kind of carry forward through it.
Neat.
It's got some really cool like there's an area, there's like a whole time puzzle. There's like this really cool area that's like a desert, but then if you switch to a different time period, it's an ocean. There's a lot of like collecting stuff and crafting stuff, and they fixed a lot of the shit. Like it used to be that every time you like started the game up, the first time you picked up like a rupee, it would be like, hey buddy, this is a rupee, you use it to buy stuff, and then you would be like, I know, and you would stop playing the game, and then you would turn off your Wii, and then you would come back later and you would turn it on and you would pick up a rupee and it'd be like, hey guy, this is a rupee, you use it to buy stuff. And now you can like turn that the fuck off. Like, just be like, snooze that shit. Like, I don't need to see it again. But
well, see, knowing that it's not on the Wii and that you can just use a regular control. Oh, wait a minute.
No, Jason. No. We're watching a trailer right now, and they're showing the way the motion controls work. But the thing is that if you just use the controller, you can just flick the right stick to attack. Like you just you flick it in the direction you want to attack. Like there's enemies in the game that are made specifically to require like horizontal or vertical attack. So they to quote unquote fix that, they would have had to redo the entire backbone of the game. But like, you know, in the previous game, you have like this little remote flying thing, and you had to control it with like motion controls. You could just use the fucking analog sticks the way God intended now, instead of having to do that. And it looks like fantastic on the Switch.
Oh yeah, and I have a Switch.
Yeah.
I forget about it all the time. I think it's behind the TV. I'm sorry. It's a great thing, but I just never. It's weird.
This is solid, man. It's a solid Zelda game. It looks
good.
It was really fun.
Good.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. I tell you what, the other one Jason, I did not see it coming, man. Was that I played all the way through Monster Hunter Rise. I got into a Monster Hunter game this year. Yeah, like no, it was weird. Like, I think it's because the previous Monster Hunter games were like they have this very like barbarian feel to them. Like everybody's always wearing like, you know, these kind of medieval looking furs, and they've got like these big weapons and stuff. And this one has this like super Japanese flavor to it, where it's like you have this village that's got all these characters in it, and it's not a sequel as much, or it's kind of a reboot. Also, you get a dog, and you can ride your big dog around, like that's your mount, is your big good boy. You get a dog and a cat, and they're your two buddies.
Okay, never mind. I was with you. I was like, oh, you ride the dog, and then you're like, and then the spunky anthropomorphic cat shows up, and I'm like, oh, fuck you, Poochie.
Well, but you can also dress that cat like, what was the thing? It was like you can put like a Mega Man costume on it or something.
It's giving me Blinks the Time Sweeper. Like, just there was a period where every character in a game was a spunky anthropomorphic animal, well, a sassy cat, or some sort of, you know, giving a thumbs up, or like, you know, peeking over his shades like, I'm naughty. You know, it's like, as soon as I saw the cat, I just thought, oh, fuck you. Kill the cat. Kill the cat.
And the other thing I liked was that I was able to just play through this game. Like, once I kind of got the hang of fighting monsters, I was able to just play through the game single player by myself. I don't want to go online. I don't want to. But I'll tell you, I did go online with some of the people from the Rage Select Discord, and even that was pretty fun. So, like, I don't know. I had a lot of fun with the Monster Hunter game. Like, I didn't like the previous ones, but those were all like, they were either like on handhelds, or they were like ports of handheld games. And there was the one that came out a couple years back, and I just didn't dig the vibe. It was all crazy, whereas this one's like, yeah, man, jump on your dog, go beat up a giant chicken. Fuck, it'll be all cool. Like, to make some armor.
I mean, it looks cool, but we're seeing a lot of personal growth from you, Jeff. I'm real proud of you. What about indie games? You see any like awesome indie games?
Fuck yeah, I did. I was so mad this year. Okay, did you and I play
Bloodwash? Yes, we did, and yes, it is my game of the year. Thanks for asking.
There's a game that came out this year from the maker of Pony Island, which was so Pony Island was a crazy game where you're playing this arcade game in heaven that Satan made, and you had to like hack into it and fuck it all up to get out of purgatory.
Sure,
I played all the way through it with Sarah. That should tell you about when it came out. The Hex was a game where it took place in a tavern with a bunch of characters that were all characters from indie games that were made by the same developer who never like finished making his games. And so you would play through a bunch of different games to like figure out like what was going on. You played through the games to like get the story. But this year there's a game called Inscription that came out from the same guy, and it starts out as this card game where you're in this super dark cabin, and there's just this set of eyes that is a dealer that is playing this like kind of Magic the Gathering style card game with you. But like the longer you play, you can actually like get up from the table and like look at stuff around the room, and it becomes this thing where you're trying to figure out like where you are, what's going on. The cards start talking to you, like you start unlocking things in the room to try to get out, and like then things get really weird. Like, yeah, the less that you know about Inscription, the better, because
this trailer looks wild.
Yeah, it gets crazier and crazier as time goes on, to the point where there's stuff that happens, but it's like a roguelike and a card game. And then it also does some weird shit that I think they shouldn't have put in this trailer that we're looking at right now. But
well, yeah, it's you have, I think, told me that. I mean, it sounds like Frog Fractions in a way, and how it reveals itself to be something it's not.
Yes.
Or something you didn't think it was, rather.
Yeah, very true. But that was one of the ones that I made sure to beat it. Like, after I played it, I was so into it, and I kept playing it. And the more I played it, the more I was just like, wow, this is great. I'm really into it. And I finally got to the end of it, and I was just like, that was such a trip. Like, it was just so creative. Like, it's so creative and different. And there's a lot of people online that are giving it a weird thumbs down on Steam for what I consider to be truly stupid reasons about.
No.
Well, okay, like, Jason, okay. Imagine that you went to go see The Matrix, right? Like, imagine you went to go see the original Matrix movie.
Yep.
And when you got out,
I did. I was there. 99.
Okay. Imagine you're talking to some internet jerk off that went and watched the original Matrix movie, and he came out and he was like, "Man, what the fuck was with all that future shit? I came to see a movie about hackers, hacking stuff, and then they just went off the rails, and they woke up in these goo pods, and ooh, we're in the future. Now there's robots, and like that's the thing that I see about Inscription, where people are mad. Like, the things that I showed you in this trailer are like the beginning part of the game, and then there's a bunch of twists that change the way the game works, and people are like mad because they just wanted to play that first part forever. And so when the twist happened, they're just like, no, boo.
How dare they surprise you?
Right.
Oh.
So I don't have
boring sack of shit.
But there was a lot of fun stuff. We played so many games this year. I'm trying to think of any of other indie games that were out there. I mean, there was so much stuff. I mean, of the normal games, like, I was really surprised. I don't know if you watched the Game Awards, Jason, but
I did not. I watched some of the highlights of the trailers that came out of it, but that's about it. Yeah, I saw that It Takes Two won, which that makes me think, okay, maybe I should check this out. I don't know.
It was so good. Matt and I played all the way through it. It was so good. I thought there's no way that they would give it to this fucking crazy guy and his crazy ass video game. But, like, it was so good. Not like every 15 to 20 minutes it's a different video game. Like, it goes from being like a racing game, a fighting game, an adventure game, and all the whole time you have to work together with the other person you're playing with, and they just keep changing it up like all the time. And the story is weird, and there's one point where you have to execute a stuffed animal gangland style, and it's the best thing I've ever seen, as the cute stuffed animal begs for its life, and the two characters just mercilessly destroy it.
All right, well, you had my attention. Now you have my interest.
Yeah, I recommend It Takes Two to anybody at all. But yeah, it was good. There was interesting stuff. There was it was like Metroid. There was like I went back and played. They put Death Stranding out on the PS5, and I went back and played all the way through Death Stranding again, which I liked. Death Loop was really good. Like, there was a new Ratchet and Clank game this year, for God's sake. Like,
you and I played both of those games.
They were
fun.
It was all really good. I looked through the list of games that we have played in 2021, and like, there were very few times where I had to pull a where you just have to figure out something because there's nothing out this week. Like, there was always some stuff. A man and I played this game called Struggling. That's like you're these two. It's basket case kind of like you're these two. Here, Jason, let me show this to you. It was fucking horrifying. It was you're these two mutant heads that are glued together, and it's a co-op game where each person controls one arm of this horrible monstrosity that's just,
oh my god.
And there's literally like a another button that you can push with the controller to just make horrible meat noises.
What is this on?
This
looks wonderful.
It's on everything. I think it's on all the consoles. I think it's on Xbox, but yeah.
Oh my god. It's just that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And what a great idea.
Yeah. So there's lots. It was the DLC for Maneater, the Truth Quest, where it was just Chris Parnell shouting QAnon stuff as you get a bunch of radioactive shark parts and eat everybody in Area 51. It was like,
what?
No, that was crazy. There was just so much this year. We've got about 5-10 minutes left, Jason. What else do you got? Did anything?
I actually want to talk about the things I am looking forward to in gaming.
Okay.
Hopefully that I'll get to try them out in 2022. I can't remember. Maybe it's already been announced that they're not going to be 2022, that it'll be 23. But the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, son.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we have spoken about how I wanted that specific game that played just like that. We've talked about that on the show, and lo, I manifested it with my willpower. I brought that into the universe. I birthed it with wishes. I did.
I'd like to actually apologize in public to you, Jason, that I did not immediately text you when I found out there was a Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game to tell you that there was that's my fault. I will never live it down, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you know what? Did you know before the Game Awards?
No, I
didn't.
Happening? I did not.
Okay, because that's okay. That's okay. I think I made it clear, like the day of, where I stood on that game, and I planted that flag in such a way that no Rage Select fan or proprietor will be confused about my anticipation for this game. What did I say in the Rage Select Discord, Jeff? Did you see it? Was it brought to your attention?
I don't believe so. Was it? Were you just?
I want you to go into the Discord chat and find the last thing I said.
Okay, let me see if I can find
the Rage Select Discord.
Let me see if I can find Jason. Let's find Murphy. From Murphy. We got the last thing I said was just dropping in to say that if I'm not the guest host when Jeff plays the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I will murder him and wear his face like a mask.
That is correct. That is what I said.
Okay.
And I stand by that. I stand by it.
I'm not getting in the way of a Jason Murphy and anything with the words Texas Chainsaw or Massacre in the title. If they made a Slumber Party Massacre game, I would expect you to be here for that. I give you first denial.
I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
And also, really, really looking forward to Insomniac's Wolverine game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know we haven't really seen anything, but man, Insomniac earned a lot of goodwill by giving me one of the best Spider-Man game experiences ever, which was, aside from being a Spider-Man game, I thought it was just a great game. Wasn't perfect, but
you're obviously you're talking about Spider-Man in Marvel's Avengers, right? Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about? No, I think you're talking about Spider-Man in Fortnite, right? Is that what you're?
Maybe those are great too. Didn't try them. Yeah, that's pretty telling, huh? There's an Avengers game with Spider-Man in it, and it's like, well, of course, Mike played it.
Yeah,
of course, Mike was gonna play. I didn't try. Maybe that's great. But the Insomniac Spider-Man was so good, and then that Wolverine little teaser, I thought, okay, yes, I want to see something from these developers. Just give them all the characters. Give them all the Marvel characters. Give me the Elf with a Gun game by Insomniac. I'll play it.
Yeah. I think, let's see. God of War is supposed to be out next year. God of War Ragnarok. I think that the Justice League, Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League is supposed to be out at some point.
I'll give that one a try. That looks fun.
Yeah. Let's see. So a lot of this stuff kind of has release dates. Some of it doesn't. I really want to play Marvel's Midnight Suns, like the turn-based strategy Marvel spooky time. Do you know about this, Jason?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I'm
All right.
not. I saw it and I just thought, okay, we'll see.
The tactics game. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like tactics games, but I don't know. The Marvelness of it isn't. They've deviated in such a way with their own style where I think I'm getting kind of a, what was it? Rise of the in
Humans?
No. It was they just created something for another video game. They had a Marvel fighting game years ago, and it was like Rise of the, God, what was it? Marvel?
Rise of the Imperfects?
That's the one.
Marvel Nemesis?
Yeah. Midnight Suns has given me Marvel Nemesis Rise of the Imperfects vibes.
I think that the saving grace is that it's Firaxis that's making it.
Okay. Yeah,
which, if anybody could. So, what else was there? Jason.
Yes, what?
Live React content. The last week they put out a trailer for Sniper Elite 5. There's a new butt sniper on the horizon. It's it's looking all sharp and not just that, but you'll see that now you get X-ray kills for like melee executing a guy instead of just shooting them, because they know what Papa wants. They know what you're into.
Somebody. Okay. Somebody's been they've been watching the playthroughs and they're like, you know what? Let's just give them more of that.
Yeah.
Let's give these two old losers more. These two sickos more of that.
More shooting Nazis in X-rays. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love how the trailer's like, no, really, there's X-ray stabbing now.
Yeah.
I want to make that totally clear. Here it is again, in case you missed it. No, here, one more time. We want you to understand that there's X-ray stabbing now.
Sniper Elite 5 2022. Bob Booey. So, what was the other one I was looking at? It was like, let's see. Shadow Warrior 3 is supposed to be out next year.
Oh, nice.
I fucking love Shadow Warrior so much. That Star Wars Hunters, that's that dumb arena game. Yeah. I don't know. The next year might be the year to try out Cyberpunk, depending on, because it's finally supposed to be on next gen consoles this next year. But I don't want to do it till it's done. I don't want to do it till they basically say like we're done working on this.
In 2077.
Yeah. Elden Ring comes out in February, which I'm looking forward to a little bit. I'm a little cautiously optimistic about that one, just because I got my hand burned on the Soul Stove. So
we were talking about that. Oh,
yeah.
I got my fingers crossed for you, man.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. There's just, we can sit here and read this whole list of like what's coming in 2022.
Jason and Jeff read Wikipedia.
Yeah. I gotta say, I got a few more things on my list here, Jason. I'll go over here. I mentioned before that I was listening to audiobooks in 2021. Okay, so they put that. Speaking of Netflix, like we were before, they put that Shadow and Bone thing on Netflix.
Yeah.
No,
I didn't see that, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
I listened to every single book in that series on audiobook because I was just need something to listen to, and some of them were better than others, but there's this one called Six of Crows. Six of Crows is dynamite. And if you're going to read any book from that franchise, Six of Crows is good. It's like a magic heist. It's like a bunch of urchins that plan and execute a magic heist. Like the first one is very Twilight. It's like the story of this girl, and then it turns out, oh, you're a wizard, and there's a dark, mysterious man, and he wants to smooch on her face. But there's also the boy she's known since they were young children. She wants to smooch his face. Whose face is going to get smooched into smoochy smooch? Whereas this one's like a bunch of gutter punks that all team up to like fucking rob like a big ice palace, and it's cool.
But it's a fantasy book.
Yes.
Cool. Okay.
It takes place in the same universe as the Shadow and Bone books, but like I like these guys more. There's 6 of them. It actually works really well as an audiobook on Audible because they had a different person narrate, and every chapter is from a different perspective, and that like really works in an audiobook format. So, yeah. Looking for something to listen to. 6 Crows.
Nice. I recommend this to anyone who will listen. Chip Zdarsky's run on Daredevil, which just came to an end, I believe. Is yet another perfect Daredevil run. It seems like I haven't finished it yet, but I'm hearing that that's what it is. I've read the first 4 trades, I think, and they were all amazing. With really just a not a new take on the character, but one that is kind of definitive, where it kind of contextualizes Matt Murdock's struggle with violence and faith and who he is. And it's just, he has, Zdarsky has such a great voice and a feel for a lot of these characters that he writes that it is just spectacular. Yeah. Great book.
Did you finish out, I understand this year they finished out Immortal Hulk, right? Were you reading that?
I've got a stack of trades. I've read the first several, and they're great. It is creepy and disturbing as hell. Have you read any of them?
I read a big chunk of them. I didn't get all the way up to the end, but I did see some of the weirder and nuttier shit that happens in Immortal Hulk. So
that is another phenomenal run. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, reading those things. What else was I? The It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's fun. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, but these are really short. They're about 30 minutes each, and it's Rob McElhenney and Glenn Howerton and Charlie Kelly or Charlie Day or whatever his name is. Just going through each episode of the series, just one by one, and just 30 minutes, and it's just really honest. And they were like, "Oh, we didn't know what we were doing here," and "Oh, yeah, we should have said that. That was, we've learned that was really racist." They're like, "Is that what this is? Just us apologizing for all the old episodes?" And they're like, "Yeah, it might have to be." It's really funny and just a really honest insight into especially the early stuff. It's really funny and likable in an impromptu, off the cuff way.
Cool. I'll have to check that out. I tell you what. What was it? Oh, I had some YouTube channels here too that I really enjoyed because 2021, you're sitting inside watching YouTube channels, but. I cannot recommend enough a channel called In Praise of Shadows. I think I've mentioned this before, and I mentioned it in 2020, I think, is when I started watching it. But like this guy, okay, Jason, I
can't believe what I'm seeing here.
Okay,
you watched the 3-hour video of In Defense of Nicolas Cage.
Oh, yeah.
You watched it.
Oh, fuck yeah. And that was like amazing. It was so good. Okay, so here's the thing, Jason. I want to just like okay. You know how we're getting real meta here because we're about to take a break, but we're going to get real meta here for a second. Jason, you know how like you come across a creator or creators on YouTube or somewhere, and you're just like, holy shit, I've never seen this before. Somebody who just comes on the scene, they're really hungry. They've been thinking about like a lot of stuff for a long time, and they start out and they're a little raw around the edges, but they've got these takes. They've got these takes you've never thought of before. Like you're watching it, and it's not just like, let me read what the person said on Twitter. Now let's read the replies on Twitter. Cowboy Bebop is bad. Like, fuck that. Like, this guy has this 2-parter that is also 3 hours long called The Golden Age of Horror Comics. Listen, this, have you watched any of these, Jason?
Some of them. I'm actually subscribed to his channel.
Okay.
I haven't watched those, but there's just so much good stuff on there.
Like guys, you need to go watch, like if you've ever, I know that I've literally seen people from time to time and they're just like, why is everything superheroes? And it's like, these two videos will tell you the answer to that question. Like, they will explain to you how there was a whole industry full of really creative horror and sex comedy and raunchy black and white and like low budget comic books that were very popular up until the point where like a bunch of fucking like uptight senators and moms and shit got a bee in their bonnet and decided that like the Crypt Keeper was making children into murderers. And then once they actually legitimately legislated those things out of existence, like the people drew the comics and they literally had to hand their comic books to American fucking decency censors who would go in with like whiteout and like remove like boobs and blood and like crazy violence in order to sanitize it, because they literally thought that children would turn into fucking Jason Voorhees if they read comics. And so all that was left after all that was guys in tights fighting crime. That was like all you could show. But yeah, this 3 hour In Defense of Nicolas Cage is amazing. It will make you so sad for Nicolas Cage, because I didn't realize this, Jason, but like, you know that video online that's the Nicolas Cage freaking out for 10 minutes straight thing?
No.
Did you not know that? So like,
I don't know.
Many years ago, there was a video that was just a compilation of like the the old Vampire's Kiss and the parts where and it's just like them playing this classical music behind like a montage of him freaking out and like screaming and doing all this stuff.
I thought you were saying like he was at a Wendy's or something with his pants off, having some sort of meltdown.
No. Like, and the thing is that they go over in this that like there's a shift in the public perception of Nicolas Cage when that video comes out. And like from all the interviews, if you read between the lines, like poor Nicolas Cage, like you can't fight it, right? You can't say, I don't appreciate this. This is kind of fucked up to take like these moments where I'm really trying to like do this method acting thing and really get into character and express myself in like a way and then string them together to make me look like a lunatic. And so now I've become a meme on the internet, even though like by all accounts, Nicolas Cage is a really nice guy who just wants to fucking make movies and like live his life. And
but he's also real weird.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, the guy bought a Tyrannosaurus Rex head or skull or something like that, like, and wants to be buried in a sarcophagus. He owned like 13 houses. I mean,
yeah,
he's disconnected. Might be, but he deserves to be left alone. Nice guy and everything. Yes. Yeah. But that's interesting. So it pins it on this video shifting public perception?
No, a little bit. It's really worth like looking into it. Like one of the things in this video, like everybody should go watch this video. But one of the things that they talk about in this video is like is talking about how American acting is all like incredibly naturalistic, how we have like an obsession with like in some cases overtly naturalistic, like even more muted and by naturalistic we just mean like trying to portray what you would think a person would be like regularly, right? Like not, and that Nicolas Cage, he ascribes more to like a school of acting that you'll see in other places, which is like heightening all of the emotion to show a more dramatic, kind of like stage acting or like, there's and that like, so in some cases this stuff might seem like a wackadoodle because he's literally doing kind of a different style of ad that we're used to, like a very muted style. I don't know. This channel is incredible. Like there's this one, Jason, do you know about the movie Crime Wave? Like,
oh yeah, I've seen it. It's something.
That's an insane story. And then not just that, but he likes to do these like big deep dives into like a whole horror franchise where he'll go over Tremors from the first one to the last one, like in detail,
like an hour-long video. So these are like really, really deep dives, and that's kind of the reason I haven't seen many of them, because some of them are a commitment, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, he covers a lot of good stuff. I'm really excited to dive in.
I really like this stuff. I couldn't recommend this enough, especially if you're a big fan of horror. So I think with that, we're going to take a break. And then, Jason, the other thing we're going to do here in 2021 is I have been slowly expanding the Rage Select podcast to the point where we can never answer questions. So we're going to answer the questions that have built up over the last 6 months of Rage Select.
The hell we are.
We're going to answer some of the questions that have built up. So
it's like, you can. I have shit to do, Jeff.
So we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to answer questions. Stick around. We're back, and Jason, it's I don't think since 2020, maybe 2019, has there been a Rage Select podcast where after I said "and we're back," we started just reading questions immediately instead of doing more news.
I want you to do it right now. Go into the
It's a
We're
throwback.
gonna do it. I believe in us.
Everybody likes nostalgia. This is nostalgia for the Don Matrick Memorial Podcast. Mail at rageselect.com is the email address. Our first question, I'm gonna go back and forth between email questions and Discord questions, and if we get through all of them, then everybody wins a prize. I don't know what it is. It's an NFT. It's a Rage Select NFT. Actually, hold on. Before we go to this, Jason, have you watched that dumb ape NFT YouTube video thing that was made?
Why would I do that, Jeff?
I don't know. You're on the Modern Rug. You guys talk about the blockchain or something like that.
That's all we do. We're always blocking and chaining. You know us.
I want to anti-recommend this. Like, this thing is so bad that it almost counts as like anti-humor. Like, it's so inscrutable and bad that it's like the opposite of like fiction or human entertainment. It's just this really weird show, and it's fucking terrible, but it's almost so terrible. Like, it transcends, it goes to another level where it's not just like, oh, this is bad. It's like, this is canceling out like good things in the world. I don't know how.
God.
So,
wow. It just like made all of the vaccines not work.
Yeah, it's really bad. Anyway, questions.
And COVID now also gives you crotch rot.
Yeah.
Because thanks, Red Ape Family.
Red Ape Family. Yep.
Okay. See, now I'm gonna watch it because the way you sold it, and I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna be so mad at you, and then I'm gonna watch another one.
And then next year on the 2022 Best of Rage Select podcast, you can be like, guys, you have to stick with Red Ape Family. Season 12 is lit as fuck, man. Like,
it's like Dune. It goes crazy.
What's the Red
After
Ape turns
500,000 episodes.
After the Red Ape turns into the giant worm, it goes off the rails, man. You've never seen this before. All right. Let's get the fuck away from this. Yes, I know. All right, our first question is from Aaron. Aaron says, hey, Jeff and Jason, name's Aaron, longtime listener and viewer, first time submitting a question. I started volunteering on LibriVox.org a couple months ago. It's a website where volunteers narrate public domain works for fair use and archiving. I have thought about turning this newfound hobby into a side gig or career. Any suggestions, or dare I say warnings I should consider? No worries if you don't get to it before 2022. Thanks and praise, Dongacles. And that is from Aaron. Jason, I thought you might have something to say about narrating audiobooks.
Yeah. You know, I haven't done a lot of it. That's something that I really, really need to get on. I started recording actually did the audiobook for Black Oat Motorcycle Club, but I really did it as a podcast, but it was just me reading the book. And as far as warnings and stuff like that, you know, there's a lot. I don't know if you want the technical stuff that you need, but there's a lot that you need to know about how to record an audiobook and how it might be different from a podcast and the best practices and stuff like that. And, you know, all of the techniques and everything that you'll need to actually do the stuff for them, which will be different from if you put it on, say, an Amazon audiobook, right? I'm assuming it's, but like, you can get away with stuff on a podcast that you cannot get away with on an audiobook that is on like Audible. Mm-hmm. It's like, because their requirements are very, very strict. Now, and so it's when you upload it, it'll often scan it, and it will tell you, no, you can't do it because of this. You know, or it's like if you are reading. I know that I don't know a lot about LibriVox. I know that it's cool and probably a good way to build a reel so that you could get people to pay you.
Oh, okay.
To read because LibriVox, I believe, is all free. I think it's all free.
Okay.
I listened to a version of Dracula a while back that was off of LibriVox, I think. But
cool.
But yeah, it's really neat. It's a neat resource. It just makes sure that you understand what you're getting into, because it could become a very expensive commitment if you don't. You know, it's like, oh, now you got to get this mixing board, and oh well, now you got to get these connections and this kind of mic and this kind of sound foam, and it's just it is a Copernicus horn of infinite smallness where you can just keep making upgrades as much as you want. Like, oh, I really do need the expensive version of this software if I want it to sound just right. So,
yeah.
You know, it's like computer upgrades. How much do you want to spend? You know?
Yeah. I'll say, Aaron, I don't know anything about narrating audiobooks except for one thing. Okay, I've got a joke answer. I've got a real answer. My real answer is do a little bit of research about recording audio, because as Jason and I know from as I know, and Jason has had to weather through from a long time, there are very few ways to fix broken audio. Certain types of broken audio, just like, nope. Like, if you go to any board, even in 2021, it'll just be like, just do it again, stupid idiot. Why'd you do it like that? Like, you know, if you peek out like through an entire audio recording, there's just no information at the top of your waveform. There's no way to fix that. You just got to go back and do it again. So like, there's some basic stuff that you could probably find like a good YouTube video or a good like explainer on. As far as actually doing audiobooks, as somebody who's been listening to a lot of audiobooks, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're getting a lot of funny voices. You may think that you need a lot of funny voices, but I'll be honest with you. You really only need 3. You need Dracula, Pirate, and Cockney, and then just switch between those for all the different characters. You'll be fine, man. They'll be asking you to...
Now, that's something I was going to ask, because I don't listen to a lot of audiobooks, but I need to record all of the stuff for the Occultex books. I need to record those audiobooks, and it's been, you know, it's a challenge. It's a lot of work, turns out. Mm-hmm. And so I've been trying to do that, and it's like some of the audiobooks that I hear, it's just the author or someone reading the book without doing the voices. Mm-hmm. And then others, they go all in and do the voices, like intensely so. I don't know if I feel comfortable doing that, because there's one where there's a Dark Tower one. Frank Muller was the guy's name. Rest in peace. He was a talented individual who passed away, but he did a lot of the Stephen King Dark Tower audiobooks that I listened to way back in the day that Brian and I listened to. Brian still raves about him, but man, there were some real questionable representations of black women from a white voice actor. That was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that, sir.
No, that's why Jason, I'm telling you, I just told you the answer. Just give Zeke a pirate accent. Write that into the book, and he's like, "Yar, Clark, let's go punch some ghost me hearties," and then you're good. You're good to go. So
okay. It was pirate, Dracula, and what was the other
Cockney.
one?
Bad Monty Python level, like, "Oi, I'm from England," and like that kind of shit. Like, just cycle between those 3, and then you'll be good to go. Like.
Okay, this is brilliant. This is great. This is great advice. I don't know why you're not making $1 million doing this.
I'll tell you right now, like in listening to the Dune books, like the guy that's been doing the narration has been pretty clear across the board, and like he does, like
he is the Kwisatz Haderach.
Bleh. I'm the Baron Harkonnen. Sounds like freaking what we do in the shadows.
The worms of Dune. Listen to what music they make.
The guy that does that, he's pretty good. He puts on like a kind of a light touch for some of the stuff. Like, you never want to go like whole hog or try to like really do, like I listened to Zachary Quinto do the John Scalzi Dispatcher books, and like the main character is this just kind of like generic white guy, but then like the second character, like the main supporting character, is this African American like detective character, and he puts on a little bit of a voice for that, but I don't know, man. Like, that's one of those things where, like, unless you want to go get people to do the voices for the different characters, I don't even know what you do with that. I have no idea. Like,
and you know, it's like when I did Black Goat, me doing a woman's voice, it's just, I think it's uncomfortable for everyone, honestly. I really do. I think just everybody listening, me, my parents, they're disappointed, you know, in not in me trying to be a woman or anything, but in just me doing a bad woman's voice. And it's just like, what are you doing, you idiot?
Just read it. Just read all the stuff in your normal voice. Let people imagine it. So
yeah. Or, you know, pirate Dracula Cockney.
Or Pirate Dracula. Yeah, either way. All right, from the Discord, Jonathan Scratch says, hey, Jeff and Jason, I got a relatively wonky question. I just played and beat Prey 2017. Goddamn great game, by the way. And it got me hankering for that flavor of sci-fi literature. I'm no stranger to the genre, but you're way more plugged into that sphere than me. So are there any good sci-fi books you know of that have that Prey flavor? Things like mixing horror and science, working in an isolated place, space station or otherwise, alternate history, etc. Not every one of those things is necessary, and don't stop being kick-ass. And that's from Jonathan Scratch.
So what is it about Prey specifically? Like, you're saying alt history, and
so
I didn't play that one. I played the original one back in like 2000 or whatever.
So Prey has an alt history. It has a kind of a sense of isolation. It's kind of it's got some interesting stuff as far as like, you know, what's real, what happened here. Like, there's a kind of a lot of different. What it reminds me, what I would say at first is like kind of Philip K. Dick, the what we can remember for it remember it for you wholesale that Total Recall is based off of. Except that, like, I hate Philip K. Dick's writing. I like his ideas, but I think he is a poor quality writer. But as far as
not cool to make fun of the mentally ill, but that's all right.
I think he's got wonderful ideas. I think the man has wonderful ideas. Let's see, alt history.
Have you read any China Mieville?
I don't
think that's
know
how
that
you
is.
say that. I may not. He wrote. I haven't read a lot of his stuff. I'm only like passingly familiar with his body of work, but he wrote stuff like The City and The City, and he deals with a lot of like. I mean, he's a brilliant. His prose is beautiful. It's very dense, but he deals with a lot of really strange concepts that might be less sci-fi and a little more. Well, there's science fiction there, but it's a little more urban fantasy. But that's selling it short, though. Yeah, it's supernatural worlds and what have you. He it's some really strange kind of mind-bending stuff where it's like, no, he's not like a fantasy author. No, he's not like strictly like a science fiction author, because you wouldn't put him next to George R.R. Martin. You wouldn't put him next to Isaac Asimov.
Right.
He is a strange speculative fiction author that you might be into.
I think okay, there's a few. Okay, yeah. I'm like looking through my phone at the stuff that I've read. Okay. Yes. All right. Start saying book names, Jeff, and quit saying yes. There's a Neil Stevenson book called which one is? Oh my God damn it, brain! It's not Reamed, stupid brain. I know it's not that one. It's called no Seven Eves.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Seven Eves is based on a like it is kind of an alt history where like the moon breaks apart and like we have a very limited amount of time until the entire Earth becomes unusable, and in that time period, like there's two parts to the book, and the first part is like on the International Space Station trying to figure out how to survive long term, and then the second part is like there's a time jump later on where we're getting into like what does humanity become later on in the future. That's a really good one as far as those things go. I feel like a lot of people know William Gibson, obviously, but I never hear anybody talking about his current series that he's writing.
He's writing a series right now?
Well, okay. Technically, all of his books are series, right? You know this, right? So Neuromancer, Mona Lisa Overdrive, and Count Zero are a trilogy. Idoru, Virtual Light, and the other one are the Bridge trilogy. And then
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not super familiar. I've only read Neuromancer, I think.
Yeah. His books come in trilogies. So yeah, the Sprawl trilogy is Neuromancer, Count Zero, and Mona Lisa Overdrive. The Bridge trilogy is Virtual Light, Idoru, and All Tomorrow's Parties. The Blue Ant trilogy, which is kind of about consumerism and like trend chasing in a very interesting, it was like a kind of a what does the future look like in 10 years from like the 1990s pattern recognition spook country and zero history. But this current one is called, it starts with The Peripheral, and then in 2020 there was one called Agency, and this is a really strange series where half of it takes place in basically a post-climate change, post-economic crash America, and then the other half takes place in a future where there's been a much larger catastrophe, but they've developed a way to basically like open an information tunnel in time to talk to kind of interact with people from the past. But what they do with that is they use people from the past to do things like data processing in the future. Like the main character in The Peripheral is like this girl, and she's playing this game, and it turns out what the game actually is she's running a surveillance network in this future, because in the future humanity has been decimated and there are very few people left alive, so they literally contract work from the past through this time tunnel, and it's a very strange concept. And I feel like I'd never hear anybody talk about Peripheral. Came out in 2014, Agency came out in 2020. Never hear anybody talk about this. So
Grant Morrison.
Yeah. Grant Morrison talks about it.
No, I'm just saying. That's the kind of it's like that is the kind of like wild, like this. What you're saying is William Gibson stuff sounds really cool.
Yeah.
But it is that really kind of forward thinking, like. God, alt history, like a lot of comic books, like The Invisibles, you know, might be something like that weird fiction kind of. There's a little bit of alt history there, if I'm not mistaken, or like, honestly, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, kind of falls for me in that category of like strange alt history and strange fiction, you know. But all of my experience with that really doesn't get much into sci-fi, but is more into the the fantasy or the fantasy or drama approach or adventure approach or something like that.
Yeah. The other one I could say is I listened on audiobook last year to who's the Martian guy?
Andy Weir.
Andy Weir's the one with the where there's like these Andy Weird. There's little microorganisms that are eating the sun, and this guy basically has to go on like a spaceship to try to figure out what the fuck and like fix it.
Oh wow.
Okay. And it's again, it's so weird because I was very. It's called Project Hail Mary, and it's one of these things where like I think I used to be a little bit more shitty about audiobooks because I was like, just read it with your mind. You don't need somebody else to talk about it. But without spoiling it, there's Project Hail Mary is about one guy in space, and then he ends up interacting with another character, and that character isn't human, and they have a lot of like in the book they obviously would have written like dialogue from that character with like symbols and stuff, but in the audio they literally put in like funky noises, and so it really actually works a little better because you just got like this one person narrating their journey and then like this weird other thing. Really good.
That's funny.
Really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't heard much about it. I'll have to check that out. That sounds actually really cool. I really, I don't know that I would have made it through The Martian had I not listened to it on audiobook. If I had been reading it, I don't know that I probably would have dropped it. But we were doing the audiobook, Brian and I, when we were out shooting Hacking the System. Hacking the System in L.A. And as we were, every morning stuck on the 405, it was fine because we got to listen to The Martian. And it was great.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's good enough. I think that's enough things to get started. Come back when you're done with all those, and we'll tell you more.
Yeah.
All right. This one comes in from Lou. Lou says, "Hey, Jeff, Jason. Let's see. Well, he's got like 2 questions in here. This one says, it seems that more and more developers are releasing games unfinished depending on ladder patches to fix the game. Is this a practice that is here to stay, or can it be fixed? Thanks, and have a Merry Christmas," from Lou. I'm going to assume that what we're talking about here is like, Jason, you remember the first half of the podcast? We're real positive, talking about all the stuff that we liked a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, old Lou here has unlocked that door because I'm assuming that we're talking more about things like Battlefield and Cyberpunk, and like not just like, hey, this released, it's got some bugs, we're going to release a fix for it, or like there's a day one patch. Because you know what? There have been a lot of games that had a day one patch. I installed the day one patch. It was fine. And
it was fine.
After that, it was fine. Yeah.
I have no problems with that. But if you're giving me stuff that is fundamentally broken when it comes out, it's like, I did not pay $60. I did not pay any money.
Right.
I did not pay that so that I could beta test your game.
Well, for the privilege of maybe getting a good game at some point.
At some point.
At
right.
some
And
point.
that is increasingly happening, and it is fucking inexcusable.
Mm-hmm.
But the only way it's going to stop is if we just stop buying them.
Yes.
And that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen, especially in the digital age when we've got games as a service. They've got this thing where it's like that there is no end or release date. It's just this ongoing development. And so, yeah, why not release it early? We're going to keep developing it, And so we just get these broken, unfinished garbage games for full price, and it is infuriating.
I say I have two solutions for you for this, and they're stupid. They're like, this is some stupid shit for me to say out loud. But Lou, I'm going to tell you how to solve this problem. I'm going to tell everybody how to solve this problem. Okay. Number 1, do not believe the hype. I don't care how good it looks. Like, Jason, I'm literally mad at myself because we're recording this like a little bit before Christmas, and like that new Matrix movie is coming out, and god damn it, I'm actually kind of hyped looking at the trailers, and like my position is like, don't do it. Like,
okay. Well, here, you know what? I heard. Okay. I haven't seen it. I have no opinions. I think the trailers look really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that the movie was real bad.
Okay.
So
well,
consider that a favor I'm doing to you.
Well, but
for you.
The thing is that I feel like anybody, this is one of those things that I love to talk about because it's honestly where I get to bring out the Gen X flavor that has been overlooked for so long, which is like, guys, millennials, boomers, zoomers, learn from us Generation Xers. Don't care about shit. That's stupid. Disaffected cynicism is the way to go.
Well, the 90s are back,
Are they?
The kids are into Nirvana and
No, like call me when there's new grunge bands. That's what I want. I don't want the kids listening to Nirvana. I want like, new Eve 7. I want Eve 7.
No, I think we know what you want, Grandpa.
Yeah.
You want Smash Mouth played on a concertina.
I can do that.
I know you can do that.
I can do that. I can play Smash Mouth. I can actually play. I can almost play Never Gonna Give You Up, but it's so fast. Like I can't. When you get to like do 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 do, it's really hard.
Yeah. I wish that I had recorded the moment when I told Allison that you had a concertina. She's like, I've got a concertina. Maybe we can play together. And I said, well, right now he only knows how to play like 90 songs. Like he played Smash Mouth and he played some Offspring when I was over there. And she was just like, you didn't tell me this part of the story.
I can play. I can play Christmas music.
In one moment, there was a concertina band created and destroyed, like just like that.
Number 2, disaffected. Don't get excited for shit. And number 2, don't pre-order anything. Never pre-order anything. We live in an age where if you want to play it, you can wait until it comes out and then watch a YouTube video that says, "Hey, is it broken?" Yes. Then don't buy it. No.
Right.
Do buy it. Like
I did pre-order Call of Duty, or not Call of Duty, Battlefield.
Waggle my finger at you.
I know. I did it, and not just because my brother and I were excited, and it's not that I was excited for the game. I was excited to play for hanging out with my brother, and that was the thing. Like we were both like, okay, cool, a new Battlefield, let's do it. It's going to be the trailers look cool, and I knew okay, we'll see. And so yeah, you're wagging your finger at me, and some people are like, "Oh, well, that's on you because you pre-ordered." And it's like, the fuck it is. No, it's on them.
It's
on them.
Here's what I'll definitely say: it shouldn't be on you, whether it is or not. It should not be your responsibility to be like, I wonder if this product that I paid a good amount of money, $70 on next-gen consoles for, is broken. Is this a broken thing? Did they hoodwink me and trick me with marketing and then give me a piece of shit? Did they literally take my money and then sell me fake drugs? Because that's what's happening here. You can't get high on pencil shavings, God damn it.
That is exactly what's happening, and it's happening all the time, unchecked. And honestly, it is corporations taking advantage of consumers. And I think I don't want to say, we need more laws, but I think we need more laws. I think we need a law that says, hey, no, because right now I think the law is it has to be playable. I think that is legally it has to be playable.
So I've got a solution. I've got a law solution. If you want a law solution, the law solution is this: you should be able to return a video game.
Yes.
Because that doesn't do anything about the quality or this game isn't good enough, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, if you can get your money back when a game sucks, but see, I don't even know if that's going to make a difference, because there were unlimited refunds for Cyberpunk 2077 and people literally just didn't do it. Like, they pre-ordered it, they got a broken game, they were given an unlimited blank check to refund on the PlayStation Network, on Xbox, on the PC, and it was like 10% got refunded, which is like, it was, I don't know if that's the exact number, but it was very low. So you have to demand more.
That's why boycotts are so hard, and that they don't really, it's like you got to get everybody involved. It's a classic sociological experiment, where they do this and they teach you these in conflict and negotiation courses, where they'll say, hey, okay, so you've got this many resources and these people have to share it. And sure enough, in the class, there's one sociopath that just ruins it for everybody.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
All right, let's go back to Discord. Steven on Discord says, hey guys, it seems like we are being pushed towards gaming via streaming, Stadia, Luna, Xbox. Do you think there will always be a place for a dedicated gaming machine, or will it likely be more specialized, like a dockable tablet scenario? As always, rage on, A. I don't know if that's like regular or like a Canadian A. Steven, I'm sorry, I only do I use the pirate voice for Canada, so
Yeah.
Have you played any of the streaming platforms, Jason?
No. It's weird because everything is going, is switching over to that, and games as a service and stuff like that. And I've got Google Fiber that really isn't quite as fast as it was cracked up to be. I don't know what I actually get. I don't know what kind of speed I actually get. To be honest, I know that it's like, but you've got your choke points. Like I've got a PS4, I got a Google Fiber hooked up to a PS4, so I don't know what the throughput is on that,
yeah.
Right? So, but I feel like my downloads could be going a lot faster. Anyway, my point is, they want us to go to streaming, but the United States still has, and, a lot of other countries don't, but a lot of other countries do. But the United States still has one of the worst internet infrastructures in the world as far as speed, and so it's like, man, we're gonna have to catch up. Maybe they play just fine, but I really kind of doubt it.
See, here's a thing that I think that it's possible, but I don't think it's going to be possible because streaming is superior. I think it could be possible because, like, Jason, did you know that if you have an Xbox One, the ones that we got like back when Rage Select started, like that you can literally stream like the new Halo running on an Xbox Series X through xCloud to an Xbox One with nothing more than an Xbox Game Pass subscription?
I'm gonna need a dry erase board. I'm gonna need you to draw that out. This threw a lot of X's at me.
Yeah. So the old Xbox, right? Like it has enough power to be able to stream something, and Microsoft has a streaming service like Stadia with xCloud, so you can literally stream like the new Halo game running in the quality that it runs on an Xbox Series X onto an Xbox One.
Wow.
Streaming. So like and right now, like Game Pass streaming is, I think you get it for like $25-$30 a month or something like that. So I am actually thinking that we might be looking at a scenario where, like, because if you could stream Ratchet and Clank for the PS5 via your kick-ass Google Fiber on your PlayStation 4 for $20 a month, like,
why not?
Yeah. Right? So, like, instead of getting into this whole supply chain, we have to literally manufacture the things. Like, if you just run all this shit out of a data center, and instead of paying $500 for a new console, I can just give one of these companies $20 a month and have access to brand new games that I can play without having to upgrade every few years. I think that it's possible that convenience might be enough to push forward. And then I'm wondering whether one of the dumb billionaires or like the Google Stadia guy or somebody said that, like, having more of these things that stream from the cloud running will then be an incentive for ISPs, at least in urban areas, to up their speed, because as more things are available, more gamers and home users and stuff like that are going to want access to a fast connection.
They will drag their feet. Oh my God. Do you remember them saying, like, well, nobody really needs gigabit Ethernet?
Yeah.
And then Google said, here's gigabit Ethernet. And AT&T was like, okay, yeah, no, we've got it too.
Yes.
And it's just like, yeah, fuck you. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just like it makes me so angry. But, like, here's another thing about it that troubles me. I mean, it seems like an awesome service if you can get it to work right, you know, and that it's reliable and so forth. On the other hand, it is another blow in the erosion of ownership, which I'm real big on. Like, if I'm gonna buy something, it depends on how the purchasing works and everything. If it's Netflix, okay, fine, whatever. That's a subscription from the start, right?
Yeah.
But if if I'm going to purchase something, I don't want to give you something that if I'm paying $60 or $70 for a game, I should own that game, and I should be able to access it and use it forever.
Right.
However, you get stuff disappearing from your library, and we've credited you back some money, and it's like, no. It's like, I want to own things, because if I pay you for it, it's mine. Unless we're talking about a Netflix streaming or something like that. But I also like having books and movies and games on my shelf.
Mm-hmm.
On my physical actual shelf. And so this is more moving in the direction where those are that's a thing of the past.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that there'll still be a market for some of this stuff. I don't know. Well, the real question will just be when we get to the end of the Series X PS5 lifespan, what happens next? Yeah, if they're going to just try to force everybody to move to the next thing. Because, I mean, right now, Guardians of the Galaxy came out on the Switch, but it was a streaming version. It was a Switch Control is on the Switch, but that console can't handle that game, so it was a streaming version.
Wow. Okay, so it's happening.
Yeah, like their first party companies. Microsoft has it, where if you've got it on the Xbox Game Pass, it's like you can do it on your. There's actually a scenario that somebody outlined on the internet, which is frankly insane, Jason, which is. Use a PlayStation 4 web browser to log into the Microsoft xCloud streaming service and play Halo Infinite streaming on your PlayStation through xCloud. All right, let's go. Whiskey Howl. Whiskey Howl says, hi, Jason and Jeff. Whiskey Howl Flanders here. I recently received a casserole pan for slow cooking food. I want to use it to make our typical Belgian dishes like beef stew or slow cooked hare with a blue cheese sauce or pheasant. Oh, delicious. I do remember the days when Jeff used to rave about the Crock Pot, and then all of a sudden the Instant Pot seemed to take its place. The question is, which one is more interesting? Second question, like last year, I am planning to buy a few games in the PlayStation 4 store because I keep my games digital. For the moment, I put Ghost of Tsushima After Party and Dark Souls 2 in my basket for Monday the 29th. When did this come in? November 28th. However, the deals don't seem to change between the 24th and Cyber Monday. Is this common? Any interesting deals you or Jason have taken? Kind regards, Whiskey Howl of Flanders.
Also, please, Jeff, do I cut the yellow or the red wire? Answer right away. I don't have much time.
Yes. Well, anybody writing into Range knows at this point that it's like maybe this week there'll be one question. This is Instant Pot versus Crock Pot is a good question. I think that you probably end up with better food out of a crock pot. Because you're not skipping but you have to put way more time into it, right? Like you have to cook a thing for 14 hours, whereas the Instant Pot raises, it raises the pressure in order to cook things faster, so you can cook a roast in 30 minutes instead of 8 hours. But I think that crock pots can get you a better flavor because it's all simmering and shit in there. But you can get a top for an Instant Pot that turns it into an air fryer, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so. We broke ours, so we gotta get a new air fryer top so we can get that back in action.
Oh, you literally had the Instant Pot with the air fryer top?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, totally. We went all out and bought it and used it a few times and quite liked it. Then somehow melted the top. I don't remember how it happened. It was probably my fault. Let's be clear.
Yeah. Let's see. Do you have any good deal stories of deals you've gotten on video games, Jason?
Oh no, I don't. I often check the PlayStation Store.
Mm-hmm.
And because they have these sales all the time. And I'm like, oh, this game is $3. This game is $5. Sure. And so I'll just start buying said games and never play them. They may be good. I don't know. But I love a bargain. I love a bargain, Jeff.
My problem these days is that because I run the website you're listening to right now, I buy every single game the day it comes out for $60, and so they're like, "Hey, Flash Winter Sale, all your favorites on sale," and I'm like, I already own all of them. I literally own all of these. Like,
yeah. And man, if you've got a little patience, if you're not playing like Jeff, just wait. Get yourself a Steam account, and it's like, hey, that thing that was $75, it is now $2.50.
Yeah,
or whatever dollar amount they use in Belgium.
Or get Game Pass on the PC. Like motherfucker, like they don't stop putting stuff. This week there's a new game on Game Pass called like it works on the PC as well. They put the Gunk, which is from the people that made the Steampunk or the Steam World Dig and Steam World Heist and Steam World.
Oh, those are great.
Yeah. So there's literally a gajillion games on Game Pass. It's like $20 a month. I mean, I know that I was just like, look at all these crazy games that are on here. Mortal Kombat 11 is on here. Like, you can just try shit out. Aliens Fire Team is on here. Like,
this is, oh yeah, I bought Fire Team. That's another one. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
It's like the Sega Network, but maybe not as good. Did you ever play the Sega Network? What was it called?
I don't remember. That's some rich kid shit. We didn't have that stuff when I was a kid.
Oh man, we had a Sega Genesis, and you could hook it up to to a special cable box, and your cable guy had to come out and set it up for you, and hook it up to your cable, and it was like you could only download one game at a time. And it was always like, I downloaded this one X-Men game, and it was like, well, you only get like 3 of the 7 characters, so it's like truncated versions of the game.
Oh man.
And but this was like the 90s, and it blew my mind at the time. But I was like, this is wild. I wish it worked.
Every Fallout game is on Game Pass. 1, 2, 3, 4, and Tactics. They didn't even forget about Tactics.
What
and
about
Vegas.
Brotherhood of Steel?
New Vegas.
Brotherhood of Steel.
You are correct.
Digging deep.
Yeah.
Into the foul stench of forgotten Fallout's past.
That's true. Okay, so let's jump back over here. What do we got? Kate Josie writes in and says, "Dear Jeff and Jason, I am playing through Red Dead 2 now." This was in September, July, August.
2019.
I'm taking a small break from Judgment. While I tried playing Red Dead 2 when it came out and didn't like it, this time it's better. I'm not killing animals for clothes or getting sidetracked. I'm playing story missions and doing good deeds. Have you even started playing it again so you and Jason can finish your playthrough? Keep being great, entertaining. I kind of wanted to put this out here.
It's gonna happen,
Jason. I tried several times this year. No, I'm gonna do it at some point, but like, you've
got to replay it.
Yeah, delete it on my save file. So like, I think I'm like at like I'm like in the third safe house, right? It's not from the very beginning, but like, oh my God, dude, I do not want to play that game a fucking third time. Like, it's so ponderous and dull, and like I really loved it when it came out, and then it's like you and I played it. I feel like the more we played it, the more we were like, oh yeah, you really don't want to play this like many times in a row. Like, you want to play it once and then never again.
I mean, it's like, hey, let's watch Lonesome Dove back to back.
Yeah,
just like, let's just do it again and again.
And then it's like I'm sitting here in 2021, and it's like, hey, Ratchet and Clank came out. Are you sure you don't want to play Red Dead 2 for the third time? And like,
yeah, I haven't been leaving the house much. I mean, pretty much just to do Modern Rogue, and so we got to do it when we're together. So
yeah,
that's yeah. I mean, we got to finish.
We have to finish.
It's gonna happen.
We got to finish. We got to finish. Yeah, but at some point we will. I don't want to. I literally want to, like, I was literally going to ask somebody on the Discord, hey, if I give you my PlayStation login, will you play through the game up to where we were and then put a cloud save up so I can just fucking come back to it? Because there's like 15 hours of cowboy game between where I am and where we stopped, and a lot of it is like the post Arthur.
I was there, dude. I was there. I know.
I haven't even gone to Cuba yet. I haven't even gone to Cuba. I haven't gone to Cuba. I haven't even gone to Cuba yet. Anyway. Okay. Detective FDRR has a heavy question. Says, "Hey, Jeff and Jason. Hope all is well with you guys. So I have a somewhat heavier question for you guys. Oh, I already said that. That might spark some interesting conversation. Not too long ago, the trailer for the new Saints Row had come out, and I had a lot of weird feelings about it. In the past, I've played the old Saints games. I've also played GTA, etc. But now that I'm older, I got to be honest, it felt a little weird seeing gang culture depicted in that fantasy/fun way. This was also on the heels after some deaths in the news recently. For more context, after recently I saw a lot of comments on the internet being essentially white people debating the context of the game, while I sit there and think about the majority of deaths that are gang related are youth/young adults, and I felt really weird about it. So my question is, how do you deal with these moments of entertainment? Is just being entertainment, but the real life situation kind of clouds it a bit. I still enjoy the games as they are, but it's a little weird now. Lol. From your fan, Detective FDR.
Man, that's such a good question, really. And one that, as two white men, we're not fully qualified to answer. We'll just get that out of the way, right?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of back it up to just like violence in general, right? Like,
sure.
Maybe go back and rewind a little bit to where I was talking about how, like, the generation that Jason and I are from, and I don't want to speak for both of us, but I'll speak for myself, like, Gen X had a lot of disaffected disconnection between, like, the horrors of the real world and, like, the shit you're seeing on TV. Like, my parents let me watch RoboCop and Commando when I was a kid. Like, some of the shit going on in RoboCop with, like, the cops unionizing and the weird corporate violence, like, that shit was way above my pay grade.
And then also, though, it was like, it's cartoonish.
Yeah.
Everything, in a lot of cases, like with Saints Row. Whereas also when we were kids, we weren't faced with reality as much as people now are in the media and on the internet, and it's a completely different world. It's a completely different world.
Well, also, I don't know about your childhood, but like it was like there wasn't as much real reality, but there was this weird fictional horror reality where it's like
yes,
fucking,
it was all like campfire tales.
Like don't talk to strangers. They will abduct you and murder you. Like,
that was a real thing.
Don't
play
listen.
Dungeons and Dragons because Satan will get you.
Yeah, like Satan was all over the place. I mean, we're talking about, like, is your, like, let me see if I can do my evening news. Like, is your child care a Satanist cult? Like, are your kids being taken care of by Satanists? What you don't know might shock you.
Yeah.
After weather.
I mean, yeah, like, that was a real thing. A lot of people were just. It was a lot of people believed in Slender Man.
Well, also, all of this is not
like,
to,
not literally, but
is not to even discount the fact that, like, we were living in the shadow of the 80s Cold War, and the fact that it was just like, well, at any moment it could be war games. Like,
any moment.
Half of our movies took place in a bombed out post-apocalyptic world, a la Fallout 3.
Yeah, any day on the playground, it was just like, oh, we're gonna get bombed.
Yeah,
we are all gonna die. But now, kids are like, somebody could walk in and shoot us.
Yeah,
so it's like there are very real terrors that they're experiencing there too. But like the nuclear thing was just a strange specter that it's like we had seen what would happen, but not what was happening.
Yeah.
Whereas now kids are saying, no, this is happening all over the place all the time.
Right. Like, I remember, to be honest, like, when I was younger and the environmentalism movement first started, like, I remember that coming up in the 80s, but like the way it was presented to me as a kid was just like, hey man, like, the world will be over in like 3 years if you don't start fucking recycling cans tomorrow. like do it immediately, motherfucker, or we're all gonna die. And like, I don't know.
I grew up in West Texas though, and so they were like, Look at this shit the hippies are peddling now. Anyway, where's the oil? Let's drill something.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is that it's a lot easier for me to disconnect violence in the world from violence in fiction.
Yes. Yeah. That's becoming. People are. I don't. That's a really good point. People are a lot more sensitive to that now. And, movies you got away with a lot more than you did in the past. No, in the past you got away with a lot more than you do now. But it's like, and that's now because movies have evolved. It's like, like Fisher Stevens in Short Circuit. He has apologized repeatedly for doing red face and doing an offensive Indian accent. But when I was a kid, that was hysterical, right? It's terribly racist. It's terribly racist, you know. And so yeah. It's just everything has changed, and so is that does that glamorize gang culture? Seems like it. Sure. It also seems like a cartoon of it. But yeah, I don't know. If you're going down, I think that sets us down a road where you can say that, well, do video games cause that? Do video games make that problem worse? Which is, a lot of people would jump on that. I happen to think it's horseshit, but that's a lot of things. We don't want to give them any ammo, right?
I honestly think that from the things that I've heard, that the monetization, like using psychological tricks to keep people playing a game, like that stuff has actually evolved into a worse problem than this stuff. But
yeah,
basically the answer to your question, Detective FDRR, for me is just like, it's a little weird, but I've spent my entire life disconnecting like what's on the screen from what's on reality. But a lot of that is probably because when I started playing video games, it was Super Mario Brothers, and there was no way to conflate Super Mario Brothers with real life. There was no way even to conflate Doom with real life, because it was just, it didn't have the fidelity, the graphics, the presentation, and all that stuff. It was a real clear line in my brain between like, this is not real, this is real, the end. But that's just me.
Yeah. The lines have blurred, though, and that's. I think it's a reasonable question to ask, but not one that I really have any particular insight to. I think that I could speak with any sort of authority.
Yeah. Let's see. Marmal in the Discord says, oh no, wait, that was just a comment to something else. Risky in the Discord says, dear Jeff and Jason, you have mentioned pulling the ripcord, referring to abandoning a video game because the game is bad or just difficult to talk about while playing. Got any good stories out of it? I would love to hear any good stories you might have. You've also talked about the idea of having a rage select roulette wheel, as in changing something to something more fun. If a game is going badly, it could be seen. Could be funny to see this happen. Rage on. So this is like, Jason, how many have you've been on before where we start playing a game and like 5 to 7 minutes in, I'm just like, no, we have to start something else immediately. This is not going to work.
It happens.
Generally speaking, when that happens, you don't want to see the 5 to 7 minutes that we recorded. Like, it's usually because a game is either like so difficult or boring or off the rail, or it's just like, man, we got to do something. I mean, how often have Jason and I just started fucking talking about cheese sandwiches and pirate books in the middle of playing a game that we're not paying any attention to the story for? We don't have any problem just saying nonsense. So like, if something is that disruptive, there's a reason.
Yeah. Oh, you mean they're asking specifically about pulling the ripcord during recording?
Yes. Yeah. Not just like you're playing a game, but like, I've mentioned a few times where it's like we'll start playing a game and then just stop and be like, oh no. Sometimes it's performance related. Sometimes it's like a game runs so badly that I can't be a part of this. Sometimes it's that it's too. I realize that it's not going to work out. I don't know.
One time Jason ate Wiener Schnitzel and had to get up in the middle of a recording, and it was during Hotline Miami. I remember that. So anytime I see Hotline Miami, I just think of, Oh, diarrhea. Eddie, that's the weird association I have. I think I see Hotline Miami. I think diarrhea. My stomach starts hurting, and I just think Hotline Miami. Sorry, it's a wonderful
weird
game.
Pavlovian response. Every time I hear synthwave, I'm just like, oh god, I have to find a bathroom immediately.
Well, yeah. No, it's Hotline Miami because I don't want to associate bad tummy feelings with Wiener Schnitzel because fuck that. I'm not going to stop eating Wiener Schnitzel.
Jason, I finally turned a corner, man. I can't. I don't know how much Taco Bell I've got left in my life.
Dude.
I don't know.
Okay, we have reached a turning point because I concur.
Smothered cheese burrito does not get along with me. Like,
there's a couple of reasons.
Yeah.
There's now a Taco Bueno about a block away from the Taco Bell that I would always go to, and the Taco Bell that I would always go to. The last 3 times I went. Hotline Miami, Jeff. Hotline Miami.
All right, let's see. I don't know how much time we have left because I've had to stop and restart my recording a few times. Jason, how long have we been recording this section?
On this one, another hour.
Okay. Well, then I think we've got I think we've got maybe one more question in us. Here we go. This is one I picked out that I thought you would like. IHH Hood on the Discord says, Dear Jeff and Jason, with the success of both James Gunn's adaptations of Guardians of the Galaxy and the Suicide Squad, I'm curious, what obscure comic book teams do you think is right for adaptation that launches them into the mainstream? And what would you want to see done with your chosen team? Thanks, and I hope you're having a good day. And that is from Ian.
Oh, an obscure comic book team?
I don't know.
That's a tough one because they've mined so many of them. But you know what would honestly be cool? I would love to see the Defenders, the classic Namor, Doctor Strange.
Hulk. Okay, not the Netflix show that's already out.
No. Well, okay. Obscure comic book team. Heroes for Hire. I want to see Heroes for Hire. Because we haven't really seen that yet. There was one episode of Luke Cage where we kind of got that, but no, I want to see Heroes for Hire.
Is that just I typed it in and I'm just getting nothing but Luke Cage and Iron Fist? Is this just it's just Luke Cage and Iron Fist?
Yes, that's what it is.
Okay.
Well, mainly, but over time, there were times when it was the Daughters of the Dragon and Black Cat and Shang-Chi, and it's they've had a pretty rotating roster, but at its core, it's Luke Cage and Iron Fist.
Okay.
But yeah, all of those street level characters like that, I would love to see that, or just I would love to see the Defenders, but, with more money.
Good.
Good. Yeah. I actually liked the Defenders. I liked it. I thought it was cool. I enjoyed it. But I would like to see it with writ large where I want to see the costumes. I want to see Kunlun. I want to see it also put it in the 70s. That would be awesome.
There you go.
Put Punisher in there and Daredevil, and just make it all just a 70s funky Marvel street level film.
Like an exploitation film,
yes,
Marvel movie,
absolutely, 100%.
Okay, I talk about it all the time, but if you want a superhero team that I'd like to see, it's got to be Next Wave Agents of Hate, y'all. I want horrible.
Machine Man,
horrible. Well, they already have Misty, or not Misty.
Colleen. No. Misty and Colleen aren't in that. I forgot. They are. They are associated with the Beyond Corporation, which is associated with the Agents of Hate. They're from that storyline. It has now been finally that storyline has been made canon.
No, Monica Rambeau.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Sorry, I want to make sure I said the right person. Wait, is that Ileana's in there? Right? Didn't they have her in that horrible New Mutants movie? Is that Ileana?
I don't think so. No. Like who were the Agents of Fate? It was like Boom Boom and Elsa Bloodstone and Photon / Monica Rambeau or whatever, Captain Marvel, Machine Man, and somebody else. I can't remember. It's been a long time. It's been a very long time, but it is now continuity. And they have they've got the Beyond Corporation in Amazing Spider-Man with Colleen Wing and Misty Knight and Monica Rambeau and Ben Reilly, actually. So it's wild stuff.
Oh, it's okay. So that's Boom Boom and Aaron Stack and a new character called the Captain. Previously called Captain, Captain Swear Word.
Okay, yeah.
Was the last one. Yeah. Either that or I know it's not really much of a team book, but I actually really would like to see somebody make Hitman the Garth Ennis Hitman into.
I mean, that man, if you want that's a James Gunn movie, right? there.
Yeah. Both of those are James
100%.
Gunn movies. Yeah,
yes.
But that's just you type Hitman into Wikipedia and I just can't get anything out of it. Anyway, I don't know. Outside of that, who can say? There's nothing left. The Wildcats. I don't know.
What? No,
the Alan Moore Wildcats when it was all fucked up.
Oh, Wetworks, Youngblood.
Dude, have you ever read Alan Moore's Youngblood?
No. You've told me it's great. I never.
It's so good. I wish there was more of it.
Strike Force Muratiri, Kickers Incorporated. That's what I want to see.
What about the Skrull Kill Crew? We've got Skrulls now. We just need to do the thing where they turn them into the cows, and then we can have the Skrull Kill Crew.
That's right.
All right. Well, before we leave, I'm gonna read this one from Phil because it's just a nice email. Phil says, "Hey, Jason, Jeff, been listening to y'all since the Spilled days. I just have to say, I think you've hit your stride as far as pattern and humor in the last 6 months or so. Podcast coming out is a highlight of my week, and I love the rotating cast you have for the dojo right now. Good shit. Keep it up. Keep on keeping on." From Phil. Thank you, Phil.
Right on,
Phil. Before we wrap it up, Jason, do you want to tell the good people about what you actually do for a living as opposed to just fucking talking about comic books with me?
You can check me out on youtube.com/modernrogue. We post about 2 videos a week of me and Brian Brushwood doing goofy, crazy antics. And also check my Substack out. It's on Substack. It's Jason Murphy, Substack author. I don't remember what it is. Something like that. Subscribe to that and check it out. Also, my new book, Necromancers on Drugs, available on Amazon now, digital and in print.
All right. And of course, you already know where Rage Select is because you're listening to this. But if you want to send a question, you can send it to mail@rageselect.com. I don't know. Maybe there'll be another point where we do the more questions.
Maybe.
I don't know. I got to practice my pirate voice, though.